Well, hello. My name is Willie Lawson. I'm the host of the Morning Report on fightbackmedia.com. Today we have to have a talk about where we are in our nation today. Times are changing, and people are struggling with the speed and the intensity of those changes. For decades, I believe that America change has been moving to the left. Those of us that are right and center right have had spent 4 years basically alarmed and depressed. The left has run roughshod in America in every way, economically, socially, politically. But like in most things, there is a pendulum effect. And in the past 6 years or so, the pendulum seems to be headed back towards the center-right nature of America. So whenever something changes directions, there is turbulence. I think we're seeing that now. I'm going to share with you some of the extreme examples of the turbulence that is happening due to the possible overturning and reversing of Roe v. Wade. Now, this is not a video about abortion necessarily. It is not. We're not going to discuss or lawyer or argue Roe v. Wade. This is just to show you what turbulence can look like. We saw turbulence in the 60s when there was a change. And now we're seeing the same sort of turbulence now. I have to warn you ahead of time. Some of the videos have actually, none of the videos have been edited. Some are disturbing. Most of them contain language that's not, first of all, safe for work and safe for everybody in the household. So if I had to rate this, I would rate this video somewhere between, I don't know, PG-13 and R because of language. So be very, very careful of who gets access to it. Again, my name is Willie Lawson, and if you need to get a hold of me, just send me an email at fightbackmedia@gmail.com, fightbackmedia@gmail.com. Now with our first video. This video is, from what I can tell, taking place at a religious establishment. There seems to be some, and it seems Catholic. It's hard to tell, but I believe it seems Catholic. And I don't know if the woman that we're seeing is producing some sort of art, performance art, if she is just very passionate about her viewpoint, or has completely lost her mind, or she may even be demon possessed. But if you have it, you're not going to see it on CNN or MSNBC or Fox News even. But you are going to see it here on Fightback Media, here on Rumble. Afterwards, we can talk about it and you can decide for yourself.
Not the fuck you're terrorizing! My motherfucking numerous! They terrorizing my fucking numerous! It's none of your fucking business! I'm killing the motherfucking baby! I'm killing her! I'm killing the baby! My motherfucking... What the fuck is that, please? What the fuck you holding? You're holding shit! You're terrorizing! I have to leave! Get my bag! Get my bag! Why do I have to leave? Why do I have to leave?
At this point, was it up before?
What's up, please?
fucks with abortion.
He definitely aborts his baby.
Right.
Can you guys help us stop fucking praying? It's not fucking working. It's not fucking working. Come help us. Help me. Help me. Baby, come over here. Let's talk. Okay, great. So we have the yellow lady. What's your name? Bernadette. Hi, Bernadette. Good. You're fucking awesome.
God killed his son. Why can't I?
God killed his son. Why can't I? God murdered his son on that piece of shit wood. Come outside. I brought my ravens for you to kill. And you know what? The fucking police, this fucking performance is getting better. This performance was getting better. But priest, come outside. We want to talk. We want to fucking talk. Why the fuck is the priest terrorizing my motherfucking uterus? Why the fuck are you terrorizing my motherfucking uterus?
Thank God for abortion. 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 Thank God.
First one, we're gonna close.
About the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. To Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. We are protection. You thou, Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, casting to hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world seeking the ruin of souls. Defend us in battle. We are protection against the wickedness of the snares of hell. May God rebuke you, we humbly pray. Thou, Prince of the heavenly host, we beseech thee that meditating upon these mysteries of the most holy rosary of the Blessed Virgin Mary, that we may imitate what they contain and obtain what they toward us.
Wow, absolutely wow. When I first saw this video on Twitter, I could barely believe what I was seeing. What stirred up into me is that this person is manifesting some sort of demonic thing. It was kind of like a movie, and for those of us in the Pentecostal church, it very much looked like demonic possession or demonic something or other, like a demon was manifesting for sure. And what we've not talked about, especially in the church, is that we see a lot of this, and the society likes to picture it or talk about it as mental illness, and in a way they're not wrong, but the root cause of this mental illness is often demon possession. And if you just look at her, if you look at this woman, and I guess I'm assuming that it's a woman, I don't want to assume anybody's gender. You can tell that there is something beyond just a passionate viewpoint. There's an anger, there is a manicness, there's a freneticness to her body movement, to her language, the intensity of her speech. There's something else. There's a lot going on there. But this is the sort of when we have these directional changes, and we are experiencing these directional changes in society. The work and the prayer of people for the past 40 years, since the decision on Roe v. Wade was made, has not gone in vain. The work, there have been people out there in the pro-life movement who work every single solitary day. There are people who are on their knees every single solitary day. That work has not gone in vain. Those prayers have not gone in vain. And this change, this possible change in direction, is causing the turbulence that you see. I mentioned on the morning report, it was interesting to compare and contrast a little bit, that when gay marriage was basically made the law of the land, that's not actually true either, but the law of the land, you know what we didn't see? We didn't see the Lutherans or the Baptists or the Episcopalians, out in front of the justices' homes, banging on pots and pans, making sure they didn't sleep. You didn't see conservative politicians or Republicans or independent candidates calling for uprising. You didn't, and a lot of that's because that's not how we do things. But the demons are mad. My friend Kevin Batts and Janelle Batts at River TV have produced I saw they have a meme or screen that I think they're using in some of their productions now that just says the demons are mad and the demons are angry. And if you don't believe me, check out the next video.
We will not go back. I see you, buddy. We will not go back. We will not go back. We will not go back. We will not go back.
They are yelling that we will not go back. I'm not sure, except I am sure, of what they're talking about going back to. So they're not. So these people are screaming, these demons are screaming that they will not go back to a time where it wasn't okay, that it was not okay to kill your child in utero. That they won't go back to that time. Why? Because they are holding on to the gains, quote unquote, and the direction that the pendulum has been swinging to the left further and further, further and further, further and further, especially socially, because this is all tied to actually it's tied to all the three things we mentioned earlier in the video. It's tied to the economics of this, the socialness, the social aspect of this, and the political aspect of all of this. And what they've been able to do over the past 40 years and longer, really, is to control all three aspects of the nation and push it further and further to the left and further to the left. Mostly because there hasn't been any pushback. And when there's pushback, when you have something moving a direction and then there is pushback and it's sudden, you see what happens. There's a collision, and in that collision there's turbulence. And we are experiencing that turbulence. And my thought is that turbulence isn't going to diminish anytime soon. We saw some of it with the election and the term of president of Donald Trump. Donald Trump seemed to at least acknowledge that America was a center-right nation. And even in that acknowledgement, there was some manifestation of demons, because I guess they kind of knew that there was a directional change coming in the country. And the people who control the economics, people who control the social aspect of the nation and the political aspect of the nation, they knew, they understood that there would be disruption. We often call Donald Trump one of the largest disruptors of the nation in easily 50 years. And we see the very same thing, probably to a lesser scale, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but to a lesser scale with Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter. The left has owned Twitter for years. They've been able to say anything on Twitter, no matter how untrue, no matter how outrageous, no matter how mean they wanted to for years, until, of course, Donald Trump. And when Donald Trump uses the very same methodologies and rules that the left has been using on Twitter for years, that couldn't stand. So much, in fact, that the leader of the free world, the president of this country, was banned from not only that social media platform, but Facebook as well. Two of the largest social media platforms in the country, both controlled by people on the left, because they didn't want the disruption that was Donald Trump, good or bad. The disruption, so they didn't want it. And they found a way not to have it on their platform. With the purchase of Twitter by Elon Musk, and Elon Musk openly calling for free and open discussions on Twitter, without the level of censorship. What they're afraid of is the very same thing that they were afraid of before. Other viewpoints that are divergent to their own. That will cause turbulence and maybe a change in directions back toward the right. Maybe. I don't know if it will or not. All that is yet to be seen, but they fear that the most. And we see that. We're going to play one more video, and then we're going to replay the first video to give you an idea of what we're dealing with and what we're going to have to deal with. And then I'll finish up with some closing remarks.
Ladies, if you get pregnant, run on down to the abortion clinic and have that little bastard suck my
Not the fucking terrorizing! My motherfucking uterus! They terrorizing my fucking uterus! It's none of your fucking business! I'm killing the motherfucking baby! I'm killing them! I'm killing the baby! My motherfucking... What the fuck is that, please? What the fuck you holding? You're holding shit! You're terrorizing! I have to leave! Get my bag! Get my bag!
I'll bring it up.
Why do I have to leave?
There's a struggle problem.
Why do I have to leave?
At this point, was it up before?
Thank God for abortion. 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 Thank God for abortion.
He definitely fucks with abortion.
He definitely aborts his baby.
Right.
Can you guys help us stop fucking praying? It's not fucking working. It's not fucking working. Come help us. Help me. Help me. Baby, come over here. Let's talk. Okay, great. So I have the yellow lady. What's your name? Bernadette. Bernadette. Hi, Bernadette. Good. You're fucking awesome.
God killed his son. Why can't I?
God killed his son. Why can't I? God murdered his son on that piece of shit wood. Come outside. I brought my ravens for you to kill. And you know what? The fucking police, this fucking performance is getting better. This performance was getting better. But priest, come outside. We want to talk. We want to fucking talk. Why the fuck is the priest terrorizing my motherfucking uterus? Why fucking uterus.
Thank God for abortion. 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 Thank God.
First one we're going to close.
Wow, that's hard to watch, isn't it? That's hard to watch from a lot of aspects. I mean, you're watching this this first woman who says that you just run down to your local abortion clinic and rip the little bastard out. If my wife and I were talking about this a little bit this evening, that I don't think most people, which is extremely hard to imagine in these days and time, don't really know what the process, what the process is, what the procedure is, what it entails. That it's not some clinical clean thing that they do, like on Star Trek with a tricorder. You're okay now. That's not what happens. It's incredibly awful. It's incredibly intense. It's incredibly violent. But that's hard. That's hard to watch. The level of cruelty in that statement is hard to fathom. And then this woman that, again, I played this video in the beginning of this video. I played that clip, and you have to wonder. Actually, you don't have to wonder. There's something wrong with her. There is something horribly and terribly wrong with her. She's not just an activist. She's not just somebody who's pro-choice. She's not somebody who believes that life doesn't start at conception. She's someone who doesn't care. She's somebody who doesn't care. She's speaking demonically. She's screaming, "I'm killing the baby. I'm killing the baby." This is the turbulence. Now, my final remarks here is that I know the solution, but if I were to worry, my worry is that, are we ready, and are we strong enough to live through and push through what is going to be even greater turbulence, as not only we change directions, but we push back through 40 years of the direction that they've pushed. It's not going to be a smooth transition. People aren't going to get it. The demons aren't going to acquiesce. The powers that be that control the economic, the social, and the political systems of this nation are not simply going to acquiesce. They are going to push back. Are we ready for that? Are we ready? Are we ready to protect our children? Do we have what it takes? Because it's not going to be easy. And we're not going to have many friends and allies in high places on this planet anyway. I think part of the solution is the end of this video that I'm going to play. So So thank you for watching, and just like always, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, take care of yourself. Please check us out on the Morning Report. The Morning Report is on the fightbackmedia.com website, fightbackmedia.com website, and my friend Paul Swanson on the Swanson Report at theswansonreport.locals.com, theswansonreport.locals.com, theswansonreport.locals.com. Please check us out there. And again, the Morning Report podcast is available everywhere you get your podcasts, on Spotify, on Spreaker, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart, everywhere. The Morning Report from fightbackmedia.com. We hope to see you soon. And again, enjoy the end of the video.
The evil spirits prowl about the world seeking the souls. Amen. Take cover of the archangel, defend us in battle. We are protection. If you doubt, prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, casting to hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world seeking the ruin. Defend us in battle. We are protection against the wickedness and the snares of the devil. May God rebuke you, we humbly pray. Thou, Prince of the heavenly host, we beseech thee that meditating upon these mysteries of the most holy rosary of the Blessed Virgin Mary, that we may imitate what they contain and obtain what they poured us. Through that.